still not the end of the story. There's this woman, and I wish I could meet her. Her name is Dr. Marijuana Pepsi Johnson.
Wait, what?
That's a real name? I said what I said, ladies and gentlemen. Marijuana Pepsi Johnson. And there's so much that just that name, that there's such a picture that it paints, right? There's a picture that it paints for you. No, of who this person's parent was and what their exposure was, and also that nurse in that hospital.
Wait, was this somebody you heard of, or this was?
Look it up, y'all. Ask the Google. Ask Mr. Google.
So Dr. Marijuana Pepsi won't change her name to make other people happy, and it's a picture of her.
Yes.
Her regalia for having her doctorate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So her name tells you where you came from, does not dictate where you're going and where you can go.
But also, too, that marijuana Pepsi, whatever, but that is sort of in the tradition of African American style of names at a certain point in this country, because they said that black people, because their lives were not their own when they weren't controlled.
Dwayne,
listen to what I'm saying.
Yes.
Listen to what I'm saying. Is that black folks, when they were enslaved, they would deliberately give them their children distinct names, so that if they were inevitably moved and sold off to another plantation, if they went to look for them, they would say, "I'm looking for marijuana Pepsi," and they say, "Oh, there's only one of them."
You're damn right. There's only one of them.
But I'm saying that was a traditional thing that black folks used to do.
I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah. I just don't think it matches this particular situation.
Well, I'm saying,
yes,
but it's a holdover from an era. That's what I'm saying.
But this isn't that, though.
What is it?
This is someone who,
just like marijuana and Pepsi.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
She said, "Boy, this weed, and this Pepsi so good. If I ever get pregnant, which I will."
Apparently. Mm-hmm. Apparently. But my point being.
But you know what? Okay, it's like this. It's like when, like Mr. T, parents, black people, again, reflecting the era that they came up in during slavery, they gave their children distinct names in the event and likelihood that their child would be sold off or taken from them, or they would be taken away from their child. Mm-hmm. And then later, when black folks, quote unquote, when were emancipated, quote unquote, but still obviously disrespected, and you were a nigger or a boy or whatever you call out your name, that's when black people gave their children names like Mr. and Sir and Majesty. So they would have to be addressed in a respectful way.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, the things that black people do, a lot of that has been informed by their situation and history in this country.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I completely understand. So, I just don't know.
I'm just saying that because I had named my son New Coke for a little while, But then I said, no, I gave him some more justice. Then I renamed him Royal Crown.
Black names in white classrooms, teacher behaviors, and student perceptions. She interviewed students and concluded that participants with distinctly black names were subject to disrespect, stereotypes, and low academic behavioral expectations.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You guys are right on the money there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that is so pervasive.
Yes. And I would just say one thing. And this is the outlier and the exception. But in the case of marijuana Pepsi, and a person like that, it says something about her that with a name like that she would flourish to the point where she would get her degree, that it wouldn't impede her.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So imagine the environment, right? The thinking that allows you to say, this is a good idea to give this moniker to this baby. Mm-hmm. So that tells you the parental thinking. That alone is its own obstacle.
But what is it telling you? What is it telling you?
that alone is its own obstacle, right? This isn't clear thinking.
So wait. The parents' thinking is the child's obstacle? What are you saying? I'm asking.
The parents thinking that marijuana Pepsi is a good idea to name my child is its own obstacle.
It presents an obstacle. It presents an obstacle to the child.
Immediately before, on the day of their birth.
Or, right, potentially and probably. But in her case particularly, it may have done something to fortify her character because you know what? I'm getting this ridicule, but you know what? I'm not going to diminish myself because of it. It actually has girded me, and now I'm stronger because of it.
Girded. Is that a $10 word,
Now,
ladies
come
and
on,
gentlemen?
don't do that.
I think
I
that's
hate when black people do that. Well, I don't know. Whoa, Lord. Girded. Whoa! Somebody hand me my banjo. I'm going to write me a song about it. Oh, my God.
Well, that was a visceral reaction.
Yeah. I hate that. Whoa.
Maybe it's part of the show. Like, what are you talking?
Whoa. Eviscerate. Whoa. I don't know nothing about no evisceration, but if you can gird me to, whoa.
It's part of the show.
My name is Royal Crown.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Yes. That Cardi B. She said her father named her Bacardi and the other baby's name is Hennessy. I was like, wow. Again, so.
And look what happened to Cardi B. She rose to the top.
Of the stripper pole? I'm confused.
Well, look, but yeah, but that's the top of something. I'm gonna tell you what, Cardi B cannot hear us from your basement. That's because she's rolling. I'm gonna give me some kids. I'm gonna name them Royal Crown, and what other drinks they got? Sambuca.
What other drinks they got? Like, you're not even a drinker.
Remy. I'm gonna name Remy. You know, black people do that a lot. That is one thing.
Mercedes,
Cavassier. You know, but
Lemangelo and Orangelo. They're twins.
Yeah.
Lemangelo and Orange Jello.
But Mercedes, people always say that. Or Lexus, right?
Alexis.
Lexus. But Mercedes, actually, that name was the name that was given to the car from the creator's daughter. The cat that invented Mercedes, that was his daughter.
That is true.
So, you know.
Yep.
But anyway, I digress.
Finally.
But not personally.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's just these chairs. It got me worked up. You can make a good point. Let me tell you something. If I was
I think that the child having an initial obstacle is
can potentially
galvanize them
or build their character.
Yes, it can defeat them or it can galvanize them. But the corner the key.
Okay. And
the key
is contextual too, because it could be a name that's traditional, but in a certain context, it still can present that child with obstacles. It could be Mahmoud, which is a name, but if they're raised in Amish country, they might have some problems.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And so, but I still feel like that's not what we're talking about. I think we're having two different conversations.
I don't think so, my girl.
I think we are.
I don't think so.
I think we are.
No.
I'm talking about
perspective.
No, we're having two different conversations. I'm talking about parenthood and you're talking about personhood.
I'm talking, well, isn't that the same thing?
No, it is absolutely not the same thing.
Okay, but you're saying, all right.
I'm talking about the responsibility that a parent has towards their child.
Right.
And you're talking about the identity and personhood of a person and what that name means and how that name can affect your life.
Well,
and both things are true.
The parent.
But both things are true, but it's different because yes, that name that I give you is a moniker. We went from, as you said, I'm going to give my child a name that's reflective of their culture. Now parents are shifting to give their children names that will marginalize their culture, like Amy or Gwyneth. So when they get a application,
Yeah,
their application isn't immediately tossed away.
Well, that's true because like it's that yeah, that's
It's
statistically
different
true.
now.
Like, when they look at it now.
But each
Yeah.
time,
I
the
had a
reason
friend
why
that
we do
happened
what we
with him.
do,
He could
the
never get
reason
the
why
job.
we do what we do is to empower our child, right? I want to put my child in a good position to be successful. You know, Black Power. I'm going to give my daughter the name Khadijah or, you know, whatever type of Black name that I think represents our
Well,
culture.
and-
Or,
Wait,
if I could just finish,
okay.
or
Mhm.
I'm going to give my child the name Amy. So that will make her be successful on a application for a job.
It depends on where Amy or Khadijah are growing up. Because if it's Amy in Atlanta, she might not need to be Amy. She could be Khadijah.
It don't matter whether she's in Delaware
does
or
matter.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
It's still
man.
white folks that's hiring you.
Not in Atlanta. If black folks are running, she could be working for Tyler Perry. Ain't
Lord
no.
have
I'm sure
mercy,
they got a lot of
Jesus.
Khadijahs.
Then she should put her middle name, Amy Kiki Johnson or Whitman or whatever it happens to be.
Kiki Whitman. I had a friend.
Yes,
But-
rescue me.
No, I'm saying, but what you're saying is true.
Jessica has something to say.
No, I got something to say.
It's your show.
I'm the one in
Okay,
the-
it's your show.
I'm the one in the shiny, slick seat. Let me tell you something.
Lord have mercy.
No, it's not. It's everybody. It's a collective.
Yeah,
as a
whatever.
family. But that's true. Now, like statistically, that's true, right? If black people have a certain name, that they don't get called back for a job, or they get placed at the bottom of the pile. So
There's
that's
been
true.
a study.
I know. I happened to a friend of mine, but his name was James, but he would never get called back.
So then he started saying Jim.
No, I think the reason wasn't because his name is James. His last name was.